unusually long gap of 5 months, the Grand Prix world reforms in the searing heat of the Jacaré-Paguá circuit here at Rio de Janeiro for the first of 1983's 17 World Championship Grand Prix, with new cars, major driver changes, and a very welcome, much-needed atmosphere of political calm. But despite temperatures of well over 110 degrees and the banning of the controversial grip-inducing skirts, half the 26 competitors in today's 63-lap Brazilian Grand Prix have qualified faster than Nelson Piquet's 1982 lap record. Reigning world champion Keke Rosberg has qualified his Ford Cosworth-powered Tag Williams fastest with a superb lap over 2 seconds inside the record. But then it's 7 turbo cars. Prost's Renault second fastest, Tombé's Ferrari third, Piquet's Brabham fourth, Derek Warwick a superb fifth in his Tolman, and then our new Ferrari, Patrese Brabham and Chiva Renault. Ninth fastest, Niki Lauda in the McLaren, well ahead of his teammate John Watson, who's 16th, and Nigel Mansell's only 22nd after a very frustrating 2 days practice. An exciting and unexpected start then for what should be the best Grand Prix season for years. On the left, Rosberg. On the right, Prost. Behind Rosberg is Tombé. Behind Prost is Piquet. Watch for the lights appearing. The red, and then a few seconds later the green, into 63 laps. A superb start for Keke Rosberg. Patrese well up, but Keke Rosberg leads into the Ritorno, the first right-hander, followed by Alain Prost, with Nelson Piquet closing. They go up to Pache, the left-hander, and now Prost has got Nelson Piquet right behind him. Then it's Tombé, then it's Prost, then it is René Arnoux. But look at the lead that Keke Rosberg has got, and De Angelis appears to be in the race after all. We expected Elio De Angelis not to start after blowing up his Renault engine in the Lotus, but he is definitely in the race. And Prost is leading by a long, long way on lap 1. It's much further than it looks on your screen. It's Rosberg leading, then Prost goes through with Piquet in third position and Patrese in fourth place. Correction there, Keke Rosberg, the world champion, who only won one Grand Prix in 1982, the Swiss Grand Prix at Dijon, is well away now. He's running on half tanks, he's running on comparatively soft cars. It is 95% certain that he's going to come in and make a fuel stop, because if he doesn't, he's not going to finish the race distance. There's Rosberg. Prost is second, Piquet third, Patrese is fourth. So it's a Renault in second place, the Tag Williams leading. There on the left is Nelson Piquet, who won Brazil last year, but was then disqualified, and Rosberg completes the lap with Prost, Piquet, then the second Brabham BMW for Patrese, then the two Ferraris, Tombé and Arnoux, then Eddie Chiva. So the turbo cars are packing the running order at the present moment. It's very, very hot here at the Jacaré-Paguá circuit as we look at the second, third and fourth men. Alain Prost in the Renault, Nelson Piquet third and Riccardo Patrese fourth.
Yes, Keke Rosberg's really got off like a hare, but of course this is what he needs to do if he's going to make his pit stop. They did a rehearsal this morning of their pit stop, the Williams team, and it wasn't great. They were about 10 seconds slower than the other teams who were also practicing their pit stopping ability. And here comes Piquet pulling out to go past Prost, and Patrese is trying to go with him, but he doesn't quite make it, hasn't quite got the space, so Piquet moves up to second place. Great excitement amongst the Brazilian crowd, and straight away Piquet's pulled quite a little lead on Prost, so I think Prost may be considered to be holding the Brabhams up just a little bit.
Yes, the gap between Keke Rosberg and Prost at the point where they pass here was 3 seconds. Now watch Nelson Piquet coming out of Prost's slipstream with Patrese closing up to where Piquet was, Nelson Piquet in the superb 1983 Brabham BMW. There he is, the man who won here last year, only to be disqualified. And the gap between Piquet and Prost, with now Patrese challenging, was only 1 second, and Riccardo Patrese goes up into third position. So the brand new Brabham BMWs are now second and third. Riccardo Patrese, who won the Monaco Grand Prix in 1982, his only Grand Prix victory, is chasing now his teammate, 1981 world champion Nelson Piquet. And now watch Patrese taking Prost again.
John Watson is now past Mauro Baldi in the Alfa and has closed right up on Eddie Cheever in his Renault. And I would say that at the moment, Watson is probably the quickest man on the circuit if he can only get the space to move. But he's in amongst the turbos, makes things very, very difficult for him to pass them with the limited power, relatively speaking, of the Ford Cosworth engine that he's got.
The ice-cool Keke Rosberg driving in his 51st Grand Prix against ex-world champion Nelson Piquet, and this is where the lead could change. Nelson Piquet is right under the rear wing of Rosberg, and he comes out and the crowd goes mad, and Piquet leads. Nelson Piquet on lap 7 out of 63, to the delight of the Brazilian crowd, not surprisingly, because there is the man from Brasilia in the lead. And let's look at it again with Patrese in third position. Piquet comes out, lots of welly, down goes the right foot, blast of turbo power, and the Brabham BMW surges past the Tag Williams car of Keke Rosberg. But will Nelson Piquet be able to keep going? And the gap between Piquet and Rosberg is now 2.7 seconds. And the gap between Rosberg and Patrese there is 0.85 seconds. And Watson is taking Arnoux, and he's done it. John Watson, no, he's not. He's dropped back again. John Watson in 7th place. There is the battle for 7th place between Watson on the left and Arnoux in the Ferrari on the right.
Yes, I don't think it'll take him long to get by. In fact, he's done it. There goes Watson into 6th place, and he's absolutely flying. He will now, just watch him, he's going to walk away from Arnoux. Next victim is Tambay, and here's Patrese having a go at Rosberg, but he's not quite close enough yet. So not this time, but it looks as if Rosberg's command is being eaten into. But Watson is without any doubt the man on the circuit to watch. And Watson has in fact passed Patrick Tambay and moved up into 5th place, and he's now got a clear road to do his own thing, because he's got a big gap to the Renault of Alan Prost that's ahead of him.
There's Rosberg. This is lap 11, 63 lap race. Keke Rosberg out on his own, and Patrese is in trouble. He's dropping back. Now that's the first of the turbos to hit trouble, and I prophesy it is not going to be the last. Then look at this, there's Cheever and Jerier and Niki Lauda going through, and Mark Schurer closing right up. Well, marvellous scrap all the way down through the field as Alain Prost there, number 15 in the yellow and white turbo Renault in 4th position. Ahead, he's ahead of Patrese now. There is Patrese, car number 6. So Prost has gone to 3rd. And on lap 14, the race order is Piquet leading, Rosberg is in 2nd place, and John Watson has gained another place there. Rosberg 2nd, and Prost is 3rd. Patrese is 5. Watson's going through there, and he's up into 4th position.
Yes, that was just the replay of Watson passing the stricken Patrese, but he's now right behind Alan Prost, and I would say very soon in a position to take over 3rd place if he can just handle that extra power of the turbocharged Renault. Very frustrating for Watson. He's got to work out a way soon. This is going back onto a twisty section of the circuit. He can have a go here. He's having a go, and no, not quite. He's having a little look, but as I said before, Prost won't make it easy. He's got a short straight coming now, and then a right angle left. No, that's right. No, it's not close enough.
The first 2 turbo cars, Piquet and Rosberg, are going to have to come in and refuel. We don't know the situation with Prost, and through to third place goes John Watson. Magnificent. James.
Yes, marvellous piece of overtaking that by Watson. He fainted one way coming around the previous corner. Here we see it again, and he dives inside Alan Prost, and that is the Renault problem dealt with as far as John Watson's concerned for this race, I'm quite sure.
And it's obviously a very unhappy Riccardo Patrese. Look, he's disconnected his air pipe. His race is over.
That is one of the Alphas, maybe. I think that might be Mauro Baldi. He must have had a spin, so Lauda presumably has got past it. Lauda was battling with Baldi for sixth place, and that would, I presume, unless they both went off, put Lauda into sixth place. We'll have to have a look. And Rosberg's coming in. Rosberg is on his way into the pit. They're putting fuel in, and they will be changing all four tyres. One left-hand front is ready, and we got a fire. But they put it out, I think. And what bad luck and what a pity.
And that is the penalty of lack of training, because it looks as though Keke Rosberg was going to retire, but he has got back into the car, but he's losing time, all the time, of course, and now John Watson will be up into second place. The Williams team had not had the opportunity to practice this pit stop routine as had the Brabham team last year, as a result of which it was quite frankly a shambles. Blow back and fire. John Watson is second, Piquet leads, and all the time Keke Rosberg is dropping back. There is Sylvia, his girlfriend, holding out the board for Rosberg to give him the bad news that he's dropped down to ninth position, and he's closed the gap between himself and Piquet, who had passed him. In 10th position, it's Johnny Cecotto driving magnificently in his first Grand Prix for Theodore. Down to 11th place has gone René Arnoux. 12th is Chico Serra in the second of the two Arrows. 13th is Danny Sullivan in his first Grand Prix in the Benetton Tyrrell. 14th is Eddie Cheever in the Arrows. 15th is Nigel Mansell. 16th is Elio De Angelis. And 17th is Manfred Winkelhock. And Piquet has lapped everybody up to 8th position.
Yes, John Watson is holding the gap, very constant between him and Nelson Piquet at around 36 seconds. Saw Rosberg having a little go at Piquet then. Rosberg, I imagine, will be rather hoping that Piquet's going into the pit soon, and then he won't be held up by him, because it'll be very difficult for him to actually get past him, to unlap himself that way.
And Watson is in trouble. Watson has disappeared. That's tragic news. John Watson is off our lap chart now as René Arnoux passes Winkelhock. Alain Prost then, who won 2 Grand Prix, including this one, last year, has moved up into second place again. Alain Prost second. Piquet leads, and Piquet now has got enough of a lead over Alain Prost to be able to make a comparatively leisurely pit stop and still retain his lead. Lauda is in third place.
Yes, so long as he doesn't stay out there too long and run out of fuel. I don't know whether he's actually been called in yet, but I think one would certainly expect him to stop by now. Lauda looks a good chance to catch Prost before the end of the race and have a challenge at him. But what a big disappointment for John Watson after driving such an exceptional race, and he really was in a position to come out pretty level with Piquet for the lead of the race.
Recap on who's been out. Patrese is out of the race. Eddie Cheever's been into the pits. Bruno Giacomelli is out of the race. Corrado Farbi is out of the race. Jerrier's been into the pits. Keke Rosberg is down now, up. He's back in the points. He's back in World Championship points. He's in 5th place, and there, I don't know whether the producer knows any more than we do, but there the Brabham team indubitably ready to receive their number 1 man, and the only man in the Brabham BMW is out on the circuit, race leader Nelson Piquet, who is on his 38th lap. And there's Rosberg through and taking Piquet, and streaking straight past Mansell, and into the pits now comes Piquet. Now we're going to see how the Brabham team deal with a pit stop. Don't forget that Rosberg has been in and it was singularly unsuccessful. I'm going to stop the stopwatch, and the wheels stop now. On go the pneumatic wheel hammers. In goes the fuel line. At the background you see a special tank to receive the vapors that are being driven out by the ingoing fuel. Up go the hammers, out comes the fuel, and away goes Piquet, and I make it 16.86 seconds. He has still retained the lead.
And a very good pit stop indeed by the Brabham team. They did tyres as well. They were undecided before the race whether they need to do that. So didn't miss a beat, not a hitch at all. And I would think that Piquet probably lost something like half a minute on the road with his decelerating and accelerating time.
And that's Salazar's car. Salazar's marked in the pits. John McDonnell's team. Niki Lauda, grizzled campaigner and tactician that he is, could still win this race. I know that Piquet has been in and taken on fuel and taken on new tyres, but don't forget that Riccardo Patrese, his teammate, has got out of the race, and there is Lauda going through to take second place from Prost, or is he? No, Prost holds it, and Lauda holds it, and up into second place. This is the second time a Barbara McLaren car has been in second place in this Brazilian Grand Prix of 1983. But where it was John Watson before, it is now Niki Lauda, who has his trainer Willie Dungle with him, who's advised him on diet, has advised. There he goes again. Replay of Niki Lauda passing Alain Prost. So the new race order on lap 42 is Nelson Piquet leading, Alain Prost down to third, Niki Lauda up to second, Patrick Tambay is fourth, Keke Rosberg is fifth. Last man in the World Championship points is Derek Warwick, who has yet to score a World Championship point in his career. Seventh is Mark Surer, eighth is Lafitte, ninth is René Arnoux, in 10th position is Serra, 11th is Cheever, 12th is Cicotto, 13th is Sullivan, 14th is Mansell, 15th is De Angelis, 16th is Winkelhock, and in 17th place Eliseo Salazar, who is 3 laps behind the leader. Derek Warwick is down to 7th place, he's out of the pits. The underrated Mark Surer seemingly recovered from his tummy bug. There is Cheever, despondently walking home. At least he's got the pleasure of being able to take his crash helmet off and loosen his overalls and cool down a bit. That's Alain Prost, and he's being taken by Rosberg. Rosberg is blasting through the field. He's now up into third position after that bad pit stop of his. So it's Piquet leading, Lauda second and Prost third, and the gap between Lauda and Prost is between Lauda and Rosberg is only about 8 seconds. There you see the replay.
Yes, I think you'll find that Rosberg, if he can catch Lauda before they get to the main straight, there are about 2 or 3 corners to go, getting closer, he should be able to get a slipstream and tow past Lauda on the straight, get into that hole in the air made by the car in front, and get what the Americans call a slingshot at it. They've also, incidentally, of course, closed up a little bit on Piquet while they've been backing away. This is rather boring. We'd much rather see the battle for second place. Here we are, and now here we are coming onto the main straight, and Rosberg is perfectly placed to get a little bit of a toe off Lauda and sweep past him as they come down. McLaren's very fast in the straight, but Rosberg's got the inside line for the corner, and there goes Keke Rosberg into second place.
What a magnificent drive for Keke Rosberg, who was let down by the lack of practice of his team. And here we see it again. Niki Lauda can see Rosberg. You see him in the mirrors. He just drives straight down. Rosberg zaps out from underneath the rear wing of Lauda's car and moves up in the process into second place. Nelson Piquet immaculately driving on his 57th lap now. The gap is down to just under 43 seconds. As we look at Salazar again being caught by Nelson Piquet. Let us hope that we don't have a repetition of the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim last year. And Piquet will be watching Eliseo Salazar very carefully indeed. Here are Danny Sullivan, who is 11th, Alain Prost, who is 5th, and Mark Surer there, right behind Alain Prost. As through, and there is Surer trying to take Prost. Jacques Lafitte is up. Jacques Lafitte is up ahead of Prost. Jacques Lafitte is up into 5th position. Mark Surer is up into 6th place. And out of the World Championship points goes Alain Prost. Now, well, there, in one giant leap, straight past Alain Prost goes Jacques Lafitte, who looks as though he's going to finish in the points, and Mark Surer, who makes to pass Prost there, who slams the door. But the real interest now is Lafitte catching Tombe.
Lafitte has in fact just caught and passed Tombe. Neither of us saw it. I don't know where he did it, but he's now away, so Lafitte has moved up into 4th place.
Marvellous news, because Jacques Lafitte, who is now, as you see, 4th head of Tombe 5th and Surer in 6th position, really has something to prove in this race, particularly after an awful practice period, because Lafitte only qualified 18th fastest. So there is Nelson. He's just got to come in and at the end of this lap to go through and start his 63rd and last tour of 3.13 miles, and he does it now. Rosberg, a magnificent drive. The men of the race, certainly Nelson Piquet, who hasn't put a wheel wrong. Keke Rosberg, well, he didn't put a wheel wrong. It wasn't his fault that the pit stop went wrong, and it would have been very interesting to hypothesize about whether Rosberg could have won if he'd had as good a pit stop as Nelson Piquet. I suspect not, in which case Rosberg is finishing in 2nd place where he would have finished anyway, because there is the win for Nelson Piquet, and he claps his hands to return the applause. He passed Alain Prost. Now we wait for the 2nd place man after an equally storming, superb drive, Keke Rosberg, and he crosses the line now to take 6 World Championship points. Keke Rosberg finishes 2nd. So, at the end of an exciting and interesting Brazilian Grand Prix, the first to be held under the new rules, victory for Nelson Piquet, who leads the World Championship with 9 points. 2nd, Keke Rosberg, 2nd in the championship with 6. Then Niki Lauda 3rd, 3rd with 4 points. Jacques Lafitte 4th, Patrick Tombe in 5th position, and Mark Surer in 6th place. And now from South America to North America for the Long Beach Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time on March the 27th, and of course Grand Prix will be there.
And in fact, some hours after the race, it was announced that Keke Rosberg had been disqualified for being push-started after his dramatic pit stop. Nelson Piquet remains in 1st place and Niki Lauda 3rd, with the 2nd place vacant.